We have seen this movie before, and it doesn't have a good ending. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, February the 6th of 2022. Where is the time gone? In the meantime, what a week, what a wild week for earnings and for other things that had happened for the markets. And, of course, the first part of our update today is brought to you by our friends and partners at Strategic Wealth Preservation, which is where I do all my shopping for physical metals, gold and silver and platinum, and either for delivery or for storage. Check them out. swpcayman.com/Bubba Trading. That's Sierra Whiskey Papa, Charlie Alpha Yankee, Michael Alpha November.com/Bubba Trading. And if you didn't get that, you can read it on the bottom on the way down. In the meantime, what we have now is nothing is rational. There is no more rational behavior anymore. We are nuts. We have from the stealing of our freedom to the works of what's going on with a broken down government. And again, this administration is the worst in history. But in their defense, they've all been pretty bad. Okay. And of course, they continue to sell us out and sell out our future. But really, they're not selling us out. They're selling out our kids and our grandchildren. For what? To get voted and get reelected to a job? I mean, yet there has to be something more to that job. And of course, the lobbyists are still in full control, stealing our cash, okay, to get the bigger companies, the bigger deal, so they get the bigger money, okay? Remember, life comes down to two things. One is always money, okay? So let's beat around the bush, right? And oil, inflation, oh my God. A friend of mine was telling me, he lives in Texas, that a year ago or so, he was paying $1.48 for oil, and now he's paying over $3. Okay, crude oil has gone from $35 a barrel to now $92. Okay, and with no top in sight. And did you really think that Saudi Arabia, OPEC, was going to help us? You think all those nasty letters from Biden were going to help us get lower oil prices? And of course, this past week they came out and said, well, we'll produce more. Well, they knew they were going to produce more because we're going into production. It's not going to affect price. And in fact, you had a quick blip, sell off about $1, and then we went up about $6. So now oil is up for the 10th week in a row, killing inflation. And that's the real problem, okay, which is killing the American consumer, which is killing our companies. But what do they care? The current administration wants to put everybody out of business anyways. Okay, they want the very rich and the very poor. They can cry and whine or bullshit all they want about the taxes and pay your taxes. They want the very wealthy. They want universal basic income. They want to stick it up the ass of the middle class and end it. Okay, because you're seeing how, first of all, how poorly the Russell's performing, but how poorly small businesses in your neighborhood, they cannot survive. Okay. And wages, they cannot hire because first of all, if you can get somebody up their lazy ass to come and get a job, okay, they don't want to, you can't get workers. And when you do get them, you got to overpay them. McDonald's is paying $17 an hour now. Okay. Is that above the minimum wage? Which is what we've always contended, that asset classes and salaries will price themselves. We are not in slave labor anymore. We are not in child labor laws or women working. We are in an economy that is built on capitalism, which they're trying to steal from us. And the free market will determine not only the value of the asset, but the value of the asset of jobs. Okay, and what is a fair paycheck? We don't need the government telling us what minimum wage should be. You can see that we can't hire now anyways. Okay, you're already seeing shutdowns of major corporations of the number of hours. McDonald's, Burger King, all of them are open less hours because they have no help. Okay, you can't get into the dining rooms because they have no help. Okay, because people are too busy collecting stimulus and sitting on their ass doing nothing. Okay, is that the society that you want to live in? I certainly don't. Okay, but and then you've got the stealing and the continued deteriorating freedom we have. Okay. I mean, now new cars, they want to have a kill switch put in them so they can control your car. So the government can control your car. Is that what you really want? Okay. They already steal the currency. They've already destroyed the U.S. dollar. Okay. And do we want to give them more control? I mean, they're probably watching us every moment of every day anyways. Okay. With all this technology in today's world, that's just another way to spy on you. Okay. So you really want them to have even more control, okay, of your life. And of course, teachers are quitting in record numbers because they're getting more money elsewhere. Okay. And they have a high value. Okay? And why should we worry about educating our children? Okay. I mean, God forbid we would give them a good education. I mean, I haven't seen a good education probably since the 60s. This school system nationally is garbage. All you have to do is look at the ratings and where we rank worldwide in math and in science. Okay. I mean, probably two fairly important subjects. How about finance? Okay. That's why we put a high school program together, because I'm sick of watching imbeciles. Okay. From people that manage your money right now. Okay. To the people that we're breeding to do so. Okay. They have no idea how a market even works. Okay. Are we going to continue to contend that the Fed is going to continue to bail out every piece of crap business because it's too big to fail? Where's the flaw in that system? I want to be in that business. And maybe Bubba Trading can be too big to fail so that the government will bail me out too. Okay, so that I can make dumb decisions and give away a lot of money. And if I hit it, great, I make a fortune. And if not, I get the money from the government, which means I get it from the middle class because it gets added back into my tax bill. I mean, where is the brains in that? I said it in 2008. I'm saying it again today. They should let the banks that couldn't survive go out of business. And if they bail them out again, I think there'll be a major war here. Okay, because they're going to need bailing out. You don't think this is over yet? I mean, mortgage rates are now above 4% for the first time since 2019. Okay, and they're going higher. I mean, they are going higher. I don't care what the Fed does. Now, remember, the Fed funding rate is the rate for banks. It's not the rate for you and me. We didn't get zero. We get low, very, very low rates. Don't get me wrong. And nominal rates are negative. Okay, and if you're not sure how to figure that out, just subtract the CPI from the 10-year note, and that'll tell you what the negative rate is, which is about 5%. Okay? But the Fed is in their ignorant ways of doing business, which is clueless. Okay, they are going to sit back and wait. They should have been raising rates all along. Okay, they should not have waited. When Ben Bernanke puked in 2013, he should have not puked. Let the market fall. What is the stock market? So what? If it goes down, does it mean it's not coming back up again? Okay, this goes back to the same thing. Asset classes will price themselves. It's that simple. Price discovery will determine what something is worth. Okay, but we've created the bubble, and of course the original bubble builder, Alan Greenspan, but every Fed share since has been worse. Okay, and the only good news about Chair Powell is that it would have been what's her? I just lost her name, but Lael Brainerd. Okay, who would have given away the whole store? Okay, we can't do this. Look at the debt behind me, $30 trillion. Okay, that's because of the Fed. That's because of the spending habits of government, because they don't live on a normal budget like you and I have to. Okay, we'd be in jail if we spent like they did. Okay, give it away. Okay, for what? What am I giving away for? I'm tired of paying the tax dollars for it. I'll be honest. Okay, fortunately, I'm now a resident of Nevada, but I am from Chicago, which is ridiculous. Okay, and I can't get legal products delivered to me because they borrowed them, banned them in Chicago, vaping products. And isn't that a crock of shit? Okay, the non-farm payrolls job, the number came out on Friday. Okay, big surprise. Well, it's not a big surprise. Every January, they're rebalancing, and they revise December. The government number is so garbage. Every government number, and again, this is not a government issue. They don't know how to count. Okay, and they always revise them later. So if it's going to be a bad number, they make it not as bad, and then they revise it worse later when the market won't react to it. I mean, this is the oldest trick in the book. Again, this is silly, but that was. Do you really believe that we only have a 4% unemployment rate? I mean, that is ridiculous. Okay, but of course, they don't count right either. They use the U3, which is 90 days, versus the U6, which is 180. They don't count the people that have dropped off the payroll. Okay, so now here we have, okay, a phony jobs number. Okay, and the markets rallied, but they really didn't rally. They were really down anyway, which we'll get into in our market report. But again, you're getting BS crap from everywhere. Okay, and it doesn't mean a thing. Okay, which is why I continue to say that our government is broken. And that's not just this administration. This is Republicans and Democrats. They're all the same pieces of crap. Okay. And of course, the reason we don't have a third party, I'd like to see a true free election. Okay. Where you can vote for whoever you want. We don't get that freedom. And that was something that is a tragedy. Okay. And again, it goes back to the Coke versus Pepsi. They advertise for each other and they box out any competitors. Okay. Which is, again, what you see when you hear a company like a Facebook or Meta, and Google say we want regulations. Why? Because they're already built. They're not going anywhere. Okay. They could never have competition. Do you see how hard it is for companies to try to break in like against Twitter? And others, they can't because they're too big. And they get in too much trouble and they can't get past the hump because the other ones are developed and mature. So, but yet again, so let's ban all conservative talk. God forbid a conservative can have a word to say. Okay. And now you've got the Department of Justice, the DOJ, cracking down on short sellers. Okay. Short selling firms. There are some firms. I mean, Jim Chanos, very famous short seller. I mean, what is wrong with short selling? Again, it's still a market. Okay. Somebody's got to buy it from you if you're going to short sell it. Why should there be regulations? Okay. And certainly, if you know what you're doing in the option market, you can create your own short without any restriction. So where are we going? Why are we so intent on more regulation when they continue to steal our freedom to begin with? It's ridiculous what we have going on here. I mean, the whole story that's going on in this country, and again, this is not just this administration. I mean, this administration is really compounding the damage because, again, you could solve this. Inflation is a joke. Okay, first of all, they don't admit to what really is inflation. And again, I would venture to say that barring needing a new car or a major appliance in your home, like your heat or your air conditioning going out, okay, your biggest expense annually is your food and energy, but we don't count that in inflation. And if you notice the empty shelves in your local grocery store, okay, and to add insult to injury, okay, we can solve the problem in 5 minutes. Okay, all that Dumbo's got to do is sign a bill allowing fracking and shale producing once again, and suddenly crude oil would go back to $35 a barrel. Gasoline would go back down to wherever it belongs because, again, depending on what state you live in and where they screw you on taxes, okay, but it'd go back to where it was, and suddenly we wouldn't have an inflation problem. Suddenly we wouldn't have all the issues that we have. But God forbid we should help the country. Okay, let's keep fighting for something that we couldn't do for 10 years anyways, and let's keep buying oil from our enemies who hate us. Okay, and let's let Russia and China have control because they're such good people. Okay, I mean, does that make sense to you? Okay, if it does, God help you. All right, because for me, this is as bad as it can get. Okay, now again, as I tell you, it's for me personally, it's not a big deal. Okay, for me personally, it has zero effect on me, but I'm worried about your kids and my kids, my grandchildren that I may have someday. I may not be alive when they get here, if they get here. Okay, but I'd like to leave the world and the country in a better position than I went through. And we had great times until the Fed got involved, and that started with Greenspan. And since then, we've seen nothing but bubble after bubble after bubble. But really what we've seen is a super accelerated rate of the devaluation of our dollars. Okay? Because when Nixon lifted the gold standard, the thieves at the central banking system, on every central bank around the globe, they got together and they powwowed and they started destroying everybody's currency, which is really just another way to hide bad information, okay, through money, because they can make the dollar worth less. Okay, so what they're really doing is they're creating more inflation and stealing from you and me. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to stop out here for a break and we'll be right back with more after the break. Well, kids, I'll tell you, it looks bad out there. It looks like we're going into a bear market. We did on yesterday, we did our hedging webinar. And, certainly, I'm telling you, if you want to be hedged, I mean, don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. But if you want to see a copy of the recording, you can email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I will send you a copy. It's free. But if you don't get hedged, God help you. Okay. And remember, we have brokerage partners. Now, I have many brokers. I have all the big ones. You can name them. Okay. But I have two brokers that I prefer. And for futures and commodities, there is nothing like CTG, the Capital Trading Group. Look, very simple. The best customer service in the industry. Okay. Fair pricing. Okay. They answer your phone. You don't have to go through this voicemail crap. Okay. They help you through. And they're the only ones I've authorized to do letter of direction trading for my business. And they trade all my accounts. Okay. What could I tell you? So check them out. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And for equities and options, Tradier is like a mirror image of this Capital Trading Group. They are the unbelievable customer service. They actually call you back or answer your call. Okay. Unlike others that I've waited 5 hours and didn't know what to do because I had a position on that I was trying to get out of, but I couldn't actually because they were screwed up. Okay. But again, they're $10 a month. Okay. Now you tell me you're paying less than $10 a month and I'll tell you you're full of crap. Okay. But not only that, but we can automate. We've got their APIs and our equity portfolios methods are automated at no charge if you're a member. Okay. And our hedging software, which is a charge because of the licensing fee, but there's no additional commissions. It's still $10 a month flat. Okay. Check them out. try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And again, remember our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. In the meantime, we'll get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, February the 6th. And of course, this is our market report. And, I'll tell you, what a wild week it was. Okay. Now, again, we kind of got screwed a little bit. We had that big reversal and obviously tormenting me because, again, I do believe we're heading into a bear market. I think we're actually already in the start of a bear market. But again, my positions are what they are. And, I disclose them every day. Okay. And just like I will today. Okay. And if there's any changes. But the indexes had some crazy action this week. It was interesting. We had a 3-day rip your face off rally. Okay. For Friday, Monday, Tuesday. And boy, was it brutal. And it was brutal enough to trigger some reversals for us. Okay. Which never makes me happy when I got to chase them up. Okay. So we are now long the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and still short the Russell because it looks like puke. Okay. But when you look at them, okay, you had interesting circumstances which really irked me. Okay. Because, our portfolios get marked at the close. And of course, Facebook had earnings that got crushed on Wednesday, and the stock went down $80, and the NASDAQ broke over 300 on Thursday. Okay. And we continued lower. This is Wednesday and continued lower on Thursday. Okay. But it was because of where it closed on a buy. Okay. And then, of course, we got the Amazon earnings on Thursday, and the stock went kablooey to the upside. Biggest single up day for a stock. Now, not percentage wise. So again, remember that. But point wise, the biggest single up day for any stock. And of course, why was that? Well, because everybody sold into it on Wednesday after the close in the aftermarket, and then Thursday because figuring they're going to have bad earnings too, and it turned out they didn't, and they got a nice short squeeze. And of course, on Friday, the markets looked like they were higher. They were really not higher at all. All that profit or all the upside that they showed was really from Thursday after the close, which carries into Friday because they get marked like that. But in either way, the markets then collapsed at right after the bell once again. Okay, or into the bell and after on Friday. Okay, and actually, but for the week, All indexes were marginally higher. Okay. And look in consolidation. The Dow is still the strongest, which makes sense because of the times. And typically in a bear market, the Dow will be the strongest of the week. And the Russell still looks like crap. And it's still going lower. I mean, it just looks bad. The S&P and the NASDAQ are both kind of stuck in a range here. But again, I'd expect them to go lower, even though I'm long. I'm just looking for the reversal back to the other side. And of course, the precious metals, we're short right now. And they are stuck. Okay, they're going nowhere. Gold continues to pivot around 1,800. It got above it. It was below it, but it closed on a strong rally for the week, but was not up very much. And it's just kind of hovering along the bottom, while silver was flat for the week and looks awful. And again, one of these days it's going to pop. Okay, and one of these days we're going to get a sustained uptrend. But right now is not those days, and there's still some real danger to the downside. And platinum looks like crap too, but it did hold 1,000. But we don't trade it here. I do own it personally, but we don't trade it here. So we're short gold, we're short silver. Okay, natural gas, we're long. We were short forever, made a ton on the short side. I would like the reversal earlier, and I thought it was a reversal, but again, it didn't come until I gave it. But at the end of the day, okay, it had a huge spike in the middle of the week and then settled down, but was still higher on the week. And again, with all this new weather that's coming, you might see much higher prices. Okay, it's a wild commodity to begin with. And copper, which we are short, was a little bit higher for the week. But again, you're getting these very crappy consolidation patterns, which are very tough. And they're very tough to trade, and they're very tough on the trader, especially if you're trading the trend. Okay. But again, it is what it is. I can't tell the markets what to do. I can only participate in what we believe based on our algorithm is telling us to do. Crude oil, as I said, going to Pluto. I mean, we've been long for so long, it's ridiculous. And I hate crude, so you can imagine. But it keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up. Well, why? What am I going to tell? I think it's got a very good chance. I'd make the chances 50-50 that it gets to new all-time highs. But in the meantime, it's still got to get back to 100, which is probably going to happen, I would say, very soon. Unless we go back to fracking and shale producing, I would not be surprised. We're in the beginning of February. By the end of February, we'll see oil over $100 a barrel. Okay, and we are still long, of course. Lumber, which we don't trade, I mean, it's a illiquid piece of garbage anyways, but it is a bellwether of what's going on. And of course, lumber, after spiking early, crank, and then collapsing down to just under 500, is now back around 1,000. It's down about 30% from its recent high. Again, I don't know what it's telling us right now, but I think it's telling us that, first of all, inflation, second of all, the economy is a little bit weak. So there's a lot of issues out there to take into consideration. The dollar, we were long. We will be reversing either tonight or tomorrow, depending on how you do it. If you're doing it with CTG, it'll be done tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. But again, the dollar, listen, these currencies are, first of all, we don't actively trade the dollar. It's in our portfolios, but it's something that, they don't go very far. They're all kind of, pushed around depending on what the central bank needs to do. They kind of take turns, but they're really all doing is devaluing it and making it worth less so that they can try to hide behind the inflation curve, which is not. And bonds and notes got crushed again, which means interest rates are going higher. And this is the point where the Fed, it doesn't matter what the Fed does. Okay, the banks are going to raise rates. Okay, the interest rate is higher. Okay, and the free market is telling you that it's going higher yet. Okay, and I think we're going to see by summer at least 3% 10-year, and then you'll start to see a lot of money come out of the market. See, these are the issues that nobody tells you about. Okay, but there are many people that are invested that would prefer not to be, but they have nowhere else to go, and they have to get yield. Okay, but in the meantime, the bonds notes got clobbered, and I think it's only just begun, the clobbering of that. I think interest rates have only begun to rise, and I think it'll crash the housing market as well. But we'll see. I'm just letting you know what I'm thinking. Got my position what I got. Okay, and as we look in the grain markets, wheat we're short now. It's right on support. I'm not thrilled that I'm shorted here, but it did sell off last week, and it is right on support. Golden beans, beans were unbelievable. They basically went straight up. I mean, beans are now looking at maybe a 16, 17 handle coming shortly. Corn continues to trade nicely above 6. A little bit of a rough week at the end, but still looks really good. And, again, there's some issues out there from the input costs for farmers, because they use all these things that we talk about that are exploding higher to everything else, and it's becoming problematic. Bitcoin, found a level to bounce off of, right? 32,000, and bang, there it is. We're going to be long. We'll be getting long Bitcoin here tonight or tomorrow. Okay, and in the proteins, we're long them all. Okay, and they all look good. My concern for cattle is if inflation continues, will people be able to afford to eat steak, or will they go to pork or chicken cheaper? So again, but right now we're long across. And then the softs, okay, cotton continues to explode. I mean, it was flat last week, but it's really way up there, and we're still long. Coffee is exploding, we're still long. Sugar is, was lower, we're short. OJ got crushed, we're short. And cocoa is spiked up, and we're still long. Okay. So again, you can see our positions in the market. And again, I think we are in the very early stages of a bear market. I think there's lots of issues out there, but check them out. In the meantime, we're going to step out for our final break and be back with my commentary and, sadly, no football. Well, everybody, so again, I want to remind you that on Saturday, yesterday, we did our hedging webinar. If you want to check it out, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. Okay, and I'll send you a copy. It's no charge. You get to see it. I mean, I'd love you to be a member. I think that you will never regret the decision to become a member of Hedging. And remember our other sponsors. They're scrolling along the bottom, but Capital Trading Group, Tradier, okay, Strategic Wealth Preservation, in our high school program. So check them out. And now, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, the 6th of February, and we'll give you my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, the 6th of February. And, of course, no football. Next week, it's a big game, Super Bowl, which is very depressing going into February. But, of course, March Madness isn't far away. But, so, we know the Olympics are going on, which I will not watch 1 second of. I have no interest. I think it's stupid that we're there. But, of course, here we go again. We've got the genocide going on in parts of China and parts of the area out there in Beijing. And not a word out of Coca-Cola, okay? Not a word out of the athletes, okay? Not a word from the movies, the theater guild, okay? Not a word, but talk about a voting in Georgia, okay, or a ruling in North Carolina, and boy, they all become righteous. Where are they on genocide in China and the worst people in treating human rights in the world? Okay, where are all these people that mouth off, okay, about something that's happening here, but when it comes to money and big money, because of the population of China, they stand mute? Can you please help me understand how that works? I mean, you want to talk about a double standard, and you want to talk about something that is so ridiculous and so dumb, and yet we still fall for it. Okay. Well, I got news for you. I stopped buying Coke products. Screw them, because I'm not going to be part of that. They're going to support the worst human rights. They're going to support the genocide in China and squawk about something here. Screw that crap. It's the same as everything else. They got big mouths when it comes to being here, but when it comes to their pocketbook and their money, they stand mute. Well, I got news for you. I got 2 words from Renee, and happy birthday. But I do have 2 words for you, or maybe 3. Have a great weekend. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. As always, I thank you for being a part of the show. And we'll be back with our Super Bowl selection. But we will tell you now that we do like the Rams. Okay? But in the meantime, have a great week, everybody. Be careful. I do think there's some real danger and some real volatility coming. In the meantime, have a great weekend, the rest of it, and we'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Day Update, and, of course, next Sunday with another Bubba's Bottom Line. Take care, everybody. We'll see you later.